everybody.
We are fighting over the mouse.
Fighting over the mouse. One of these days they'll make a dual mouse.
They're probably out there somewhere.
And you'll fight over it anyway. Welcome to another Sunday live stream. RV underway. We thank y'all for being here. This is part 2 of our traveling RVing with pets. And last weekend, Sunday, we had a great discussion.
Can't hear you.
Talking about how what?
Mary said they can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Can't hear me. Let's see. All right, I'll check it anyway.
No sound.
No sound. Let's go to audio.
Plug this stuff in?
Check. That would probably be why right there. Although I don't like using that audio, I'd rather use the snowball. We'll go with that though. That's working. Let's make sure this one is plugged in. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
They can hear us now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Still don't see the snowball. Let me get out of here. Look at that. What is that?
I don't know what you're doing. Maybe that was that.
It may have been. I plugged in a camera. All right, I don't see the snowball, so we're just going to go with what we got here. All right. Let's start all over again. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to another RV Underway live stream Sunday. Proud that you could be here and now proud that you can hear us.
Hello to Charlie Grace.
Hey, Charlie Grace.
Mary Jones.
Hey, Mary Jones.
John with Over the Hill RV.
Hello, John.
And I think Timmy Ray is still here.
Yeah. And also Van Camper Designer.
Yeah.
Van Camper Designer. I hope they showed up because they posted a question earlier about our topic about RVing with pets. They wanted to know about pet-friendly campgrounds, mostly out west, those with beaches and lakes and things like that. We can only speak for the ones that we've been to.
Right.
We are yet to encounter a campground that did not allow pets.
Well, also, too, we primarily go to a Corps of Engineer.
Yeah.
Or to military bases, or to a campground that I've actually looked at online and saw that they were pet friendly.
Yeah.
I use Trip Wizard
right
in planning, and they have little icons on there whether or not it's a pet friendly. Although I still go to the website and double check.
Good idea. We covered that last weekend about whether the advertisement or the listing says they are pet friendly. It's always a good idea to give them a call because sometimes the listing and the ad are old.
Right.
Maybe they've updated their policy, and just it's good to be on the safe side. But with that said, we still have never encountered a non-pet friendly campground. However, we have been to a lot of places where dogs were not allowed on the beach, but they had a dog beach nearby.
Usually they do have a dog beach nearby. So we haven't had any problems, and we've been traveling exclusively with our dog for well over a year now. So, so we've been, and we've been lots of
and
places.
like I said, if the dogs are not allowed on the beach, there is a pet beach nearby, like there was in Virginia Beach.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't. There were no pets allowed on the beach on base, but in Virginia Beach, they had a very nice pet beach.
Well, yeah. Well, also, it wasn't far. I mean, we would go to the beach and then just walk down the beach a ways to the dog park, or to the dog beach. So
we're pretty excited. Thrifty Angela is here.
Hello.
And we're excited because we have a very special guest who will be coming on here momentarily to talk about traveling, RVing with pets. And
a very good source.
Yeah, very good source. Last week, we talked about various things, pet monitoring while you're gone. Always a good idea to have your generator set on auto gen start, just in case you lose shore power. Your generator will kick on, especially if you're in the hot region, so that your AC continues to run. There's a lot of pet monitors out there, Waggle and some other ones that we checked into. But I'll be honest with you, our setup is basically a pan and tilt camera and a thermometer that also gives us the humidity. And what I generally do is I'll set the camera up, and then I'll set the thermometer right across from it. And the camera, we can check it. It is also motion sensor. So if she's moving around the RV, it'll sense her. And then I can pan around and read the temperature and the humidity right off the thermometer. Both of them are hook up to your Wi-Fi. So when you're shopping for that, especially the thermometer, make sure it's one that will link up with your Wi-Fi or your network inside your RV. And that one even works with Alexa and your other. So there's several ways. When I'm away from the RV, I simply log into my camera and I can see everything's going on. I can even talk to our dog.
You have.
I can talk to her. I can hear what's going on. And I can check the temperature and the humidity all at the same time. Lucky Dog Productions moderator Sue is here. Proud that you're here. Great to see you. John Chalker has showed up. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. All right. I tell you what. Why don't we go ahead and bring on our guest, because she's basically going to spur the conversation this week about traveling with pets. She has a lot of experience, and she also has a lot of projects, a lot of irons in the fire. And let's go ahead and bring her on. You know her. You love her. It's Charlie Grace from Charlie Grace Adventures.
I love that picture.
Live life today. It's Charlie Grace.
Hi, everybody. Yay.
Hey.
And my partner, Rosie Bell Dog.
Absolutely.
So you've got your partner there. I've got mine too. She's on the bench with me because she was like, okay, you're going to be live, then I'm going to be live too. So
I got a picture I want to show you, Charlie Grace. Yes. And when I show you this picture, look to the extreme left of the picture.
Okay.
And tell me who that looks like.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness.
that was our Marley.
Oh.
And that was one of those pictures that I took. They were just wallered up on the bed. And it reminds me of that dogs playing poker. They're all watching the camera. But anyway, certainly reminds me of your pup, our Marmar.
Every time we see your pup, we have fond memories of ours.
Yeah.
Well, she's precious. I'm going to keep her.
Marmar came to us on the doorstep. We live out in the country, and she came up as a stray. And she had 2 sets of teeth.
That's a pup, yeah.
I called her the alien. And I also, my nickname for her was the girl with the faraway eyes.
Aww.
Because she was a pup that would never really look at you. She didn't like eye contact. She'd look past you or through you, but never really make good eye contact. She was just a very unique dog, and by her second year, she had grown out of the 2 sets of teeth, but as a puppy, she would shred me when we would play.
Oh, wow.
Yes, she would. Anyway, we covered a lot of topics last weekend, and we got quite a few more to cover. Let's go ahead and kick off the conversation, Charlie Grace. First of all, let me tell you, we've pinned Charlie Grace's YouTube channel in the chat there. So be sure and get over there and check out Charlie Grace Adventures. And when you travel, do you strap her in? Do you have a crate? How do you travel?
Great question. I love that one. So that's sort of one of my big topics because, I travel with a dog. A lot of people travel with pets, cats, dogs, parakeets. I've seen people with parrots actually in RV. And that's sort of my expertise is working with dogs and other things. So personally speaking for me, I've got, like I say, I have this Velcro puppy. He'll be sitting on my lap the entire time. Bless her heart.
Rosie Bell.
Oh my goodness. This is what's going to happen the whole time I'm on with you guys. So I have a very specific harness that I use with her. And actually, you can use any harness. It's just one that doesn't choke her on the neck. And that harness is harnessed in, plugged in to a seatbelt. And it goes into a seatbelt, or you can wrap it around a seatbelt because honestly, those are really strong. And she stays between the 2 captain's chairs in a pet bed attached in. So the whole idea behind this is it's really important when you're traveling that your dog be latched in somewhere. Your dog does not need to be on the front of your RV getting sunning and basking as you travel. I know a lot of people who love to have that, and it's sort of fun. They're like, oh, it's so cute. But if you're in an accident, your dog needs to be as buckled in as possible, just like a small child. A lot of times dogs, when there is an accident, what ends up happening is they'll run away if they're not latched in. And then number one, the chances of you finding them are few and far between, especially if they're not microchipped. And typically they're also hurt. So for safety reasons, and if you love your pet as much as I think you guys do, always, always, always have your pet either crated and attached and locked in, or at the very least with a harness and latched in.
Now, does Rosie Bell have a favorite toy that maybe calms her down when you travel? Do you have a toy for her? A lot of people will have their favorite toy nearby.
Yeah, she has a few. She has a little, I call it a little like stuffed duck that she's had since she was a baby. She shreds everything. She's a real strong chewer, but for some reason she doesn't shred this thing. But yeah, I'll put the duck in with her, so like a calming thing for really long trips, and depending on if I know it's going to be bad weather. So I like to preface it with, we might be going through some bad thunderstorms, and if I know I'm going to go into bad weather, I do maintain and keep some, I'll call them calming treats, or some CBD treats, or something that just might, get the edge off. So she's my little barometer. She shakes before I ever know it hits my phone.
We do also have the CBD calming treats, and she doesn't really have a toy. Ours doesn't really have a toy. And another, in that same, in the same idea, a lot of folks have dogs that get car sick. So they don't feed their pet, don't travel on a full stomach, but make sure they have plenty of water. Does Rosie Bell have any issues with that?
We do. She does pretty well when it comes to those things. I think our biggest issue is eating once we get there. So, things change. A lot of times diets change when the dogs are traveling and they're not used to going to that place with the new sights and smells and sounds. Mm-hmm. So that's something I'm more concerned about. So sometimes I keep more of what I'll call a higher protein, maybe a dehydrated, I won't say expensive, but they're a little more expensive, raw dehydrated food, and I'll crumble it on top of a regular kibble, and that will entice her enough to eat once we get to the destination.
I got you. That would, come to think of it, that would be, Cody, our lab, is still nervous on travel days.
She's getting better, but she is alert to everything. So she's wore out when we get to her.
She knows when I hit the air brakes. She's ready. She hears those air brakes when I set the parking brake, and that's her. It's time for her to get up and get ready to go. But if we were traveling, which is a little bit anxious for her. During a thunderstorm, that would be awful because she can't. Yeah, she's not as bad as our rat terrier was. Our rat terrier would come out of her skin, and you couldn't console her. There was no way to console her. She didn't want to be held. She wanted to be held. It was one of those. So, but
does Cody? Here's a question I have for you, because
Yeah.
Rosie does not sleep when I travel. She's on high alert status. She wants to be sitting up and seeing what's going on. So does Cody stay awake as well?
she don't sleep.
She don't sleep until
No.
we get to wherever we're going, and then she's like out like a light.
Well, I don't sleep either. So,
Oh God!
but no, she doesn't. She is alert. Wide awake. She wants to know what's going on.
Yep.
And when we get there, and I set that air brake, game on. It's
And those air brakes are something. I talk to a lot of people. I know a lot of dogs. Sort of, it's a very loud sound to a dog,
right.
especially when you pull into truck stops, you pull into other places to get gas, and it's really a piercing sound. So people need to be aware when you start to pull up next to something. Why is my dog freaking out when I'm just going to go get gas? That's why.
Yeah. Miss Barbara, question from Miss Charlie. Put her on the spot.
Because you've been talking and
Oh, I know.
controlling it all.
You can ask me, why does my dog and I have the same color hair? It's just by happenstance.
Yeah. Why does your dog and you have the same color hair?
I know. I imagine when I got her as a puppy, she really did have super bright red hair, which I thought was sort of funny. And my kids were like, why do all your dogs have the same color as your hair? I'm like, I don't know.
Well, they say your dog's supposed to look like you.
Oh, you start looking like your dog.
Or
I
you
think
start
it's
looking like your dog.
She's a lot cuter than me, so I'll take that.
Well, she's gorgeous.
Well, I did 23andMe and found out I got a little bit of Chihuahua in me. So,
Ooh,
yeah.
He's got a lot of whatever. He's a mixed breed.
Oh, definitely a mixed breed.
those are the best kind.
Yeah. But now, getting your dog acclimated to wherever your destination is, and I know since you travel so much, you're not usually someplace for a very long period of time. But do you have any issues about getting her acclimated?
So something I found in the beginning when I first started traveling, I really was looking for dog parks. I was going from dog park to dog park to dog park. What I realized was it was honestly sort of freaking her out a little bit because there were so many other dogs. And I thought, let me take this back a step further and go, what if we go places there aren't dogs? What if I go to a county park, someplace that's a little more quiet, and use that as our rest stop, or use that, find different places along the way that aren't so, going to cause more anxiety or any other stress. So something I recommend now is as you're traveling, be on the lookout for places that might not be, something you might think about stopping, which is like a courthouse or a school or, county parks, things like that. You'd be surprised where you can find nice places. And as you do that, it keeps her calm along the trip. And that makes a difference when you get to your destination.
I can see that because if you stop only like at truck stops or even the rest stops on the highway, everybody's stopping there for their dogs, and so that your dog is overwhelmed by all the scents and all the things that are going on, and you're trying to get your business done.
Right. And one of the training things people talk about, I talk about this all the time, is can you train your dog to pee or poop on command? Because you got to get him to go. And that's a really hard thing to talk about. Some people are like, I don't think that's necessary. Well, when you start to travel, guess what? They're going to need to go, and you're going to need to stop. And you don't want to stay there for 2 hours waiting for your dog to pee, knowing you have another 2 hours, 3 hours to drive.
Truth be known is I tell Miss Cody that you need to do your business.
Mm-hmm.
Time to do your business. And I do believe she's catching on, because usually within 15, 20 seconds of me saying that, she'll take care of her business, whichever it is, And so I think she's starting to get conditioned to do that. But
She is, I believe. Now, I'm the one that will walk her, and I'm the one that allows her to explore scents and stuff like that within reason.
oh, I let her go in the woods. We both go tromping around.
See, I won't go into the woods. If I can't see what's below me, I can't see what she's getting into.
Cody's gonna find it. She's gonna find it.
I make sure I see, and I'm always on the watch for other people walking their animals.
Yeah.
And when I see somebody walking their dogs, not that I'm afraid that Cody's going to, I mean, she wants to greet them and meet them, but I don't know how that dog's going to react.
Bingo.
And I don't know 100% how Cody's going to act. So I always, when I see someone coming, I turn around and go the other way. And I talk to her every time a dog comes near. Focus on me, focus on me.
This is a really serious big topic, and I think you brought up something we all should talk about, which is not every dog is good, not every dog is bad, not every dog is reactive. But when you know that there's another dog coming towards you, and you have that gut feeling of maybe I need to go a different direction, or I'm not sure how my dog's going to respond to that. What's the safest thing for me to do and for my dog? So. And that's a toughie because sometimes you're with a group of people and the dogs are reacting great, life is fine, but not always. And I think you're smart to do what you do. And I also think the bigger the dog, sometimes the harder to hold them back. And I've seen a lot of people get hurt by their dog lunging. I watched the guy, it happened. It's true. It's very true. So, I mean, I've been there before. I have friends with Great Danes. And we talk a lot about if you have a really large dog or a dog that can get ahead of you, should I be using a different kind of collar? Is that a cruel thing to use for your dog? I am not a fan of choker chains, not something I highly recommend at all. I am a fan of training collars for certain instances and with safety guards on them. I'm not a fan of metal prongs. I'm a fan of the plastic or the rubber ones that will just essentially I used to see those burns we used to give each other as a kid where you twist your arm. Remember those? Not fun. But to maintain control in a situation like that, sometimes that is necessary for a very large dog. And I've been in public places that you're very noticing of those things going, okay, well, why would they put their dog on that? Why can't they control their dog? It's a blessing and a curse sometimes. You just got to think about it in two different directions. Yeah.
I have to admit, though, I was walking Cody the other day, and a woman just came right up on us, straight head on. And Cody wants to meet the other dog, and she's on a harness. So not only do I have the leash, but I pulled back on the harness, and I held her there. And I let the woman walk by. When she walked by, says, it's not that she's mean. It's not that but I don't know. I don't know how she's going to react because she's heavy. Yeah. She's a strong girl.
Well, she pulled Miss Barbara down while we were here. Last week?
Yeah, last week. So anyway, she's a strong girl. So I was holding her with the leash and with the harness itself because it's got a handle on it. Now, the next time I saw that lady, she actually waited with her dog until we got out of sight. We were almost out of sight, but not quite. She paused and waited. And I thanked her for that because she realized, and I told her, I said, she's just stronger than I am.
Yeah.
If she wants to go and meet your puppy and catches me off guard, she's going to go, and I'm not going to be able to hold her back. So, because she's a strong dog.
Yeah.
Now, 1 minute she can be the friendliest dog in the park, and the next minute she's excited.
Yeah.
So
we don't normally encounter campers that don't leash their dogs, but we actually did. We actually did at the last Corps of Engineer campground.
Yeah.
Our neighbors
Our
had a little a small bulldog mix, and he just ran around the campsite, and we had to be very careful when we opened the door to let Cody out on the leash, which direction we went, because now there wasn't a problem. He didn't come charging over snarling or anything, but it just kind of, it concerned us that they allowed their dog just to wander around, and we don't see it often, but we have seen it several times.
So when I do Boondockers Welcome or a Harvest Toast or those kind of things, and they live on a farm and they have a farm dog or they have cats or something like that, I've got to constantly be on the lookout. When I open that door, you're like, where are they? But when it comes to campgrounds, I know there are some people that are really getting. This is a big topic. This is a topic that's it's Wi-Fi on campgrounds and dogs on leashes.
Yeah.
And that's dog poop. It's Wi-Fi and those other
Right.
But it's a big topic because some people say, oh, he's so old, he's not going to bother a fly. The problem is it spurs the other dog on, or it might jut out and the owners can't get them. And you don't want to have some dog hurt. It happens. And so what a lot of people are doing is there's like a list now. I hate to say this out loud, but there's like a cannot camp here list in certain state parks and in certain private states that they're creating these things. If you have an offense, they're not going to rent to you again. Yeah.
Well, I can see that. You got to be responsible.
Got to be responsible. Yeah.
We probably in this campground have seen more fences.
Yeah.
Yeah, more fences because these campers, we're in a military park, and a lot of these folks tend to stay a lot longer, 90 days or more. And they just, under their awning, they have the fences up.
All around. Yep.
We have one neighbor who's got like 4 dogs.
Yeah, big ones too.
Big ones. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I know if they wanted to, they'd jump that fence.
Oh, yeah.
It's only about 2.5, 3 foot tall, but they're very good. They're in their fence. They lay around when the campers are outside, and we just see a lot of those here. We haven't seen those.
This is probably the most I've seen. Almost every other,
because they're a little more semi-permanent. They're going to stay here. A lot of the folks in the military will stay here 90 days or more. Our neighbors over here, they have a cat. Now you tell me, is it the gray cat? Because we also have a campground cat.
Oh, okay.
And she wanders around. But last night when I took Cody out, I heard the cat next door.
Yeah.
And then I kept walking Cody, and the next thing I know, something brushes against my leg. And it's her. She's come over. I don't know if they locked her out and she was trying to get somebody to let her in. And Cody just spun around and came over, and they both smelled, and and I think the cat did the and Cody of course jumped back, and there was nothing hostile there, but the cat wanted to let the dog know
not gonna happen.
He or she was trying to get me to go over there and knock on the door, tell them to let her in.
She stays in when they're not at home, but and she may have been out.
They leave their patio. They have a patio, a toy hauler with a patio, and they leave their patio door open when she's there by herself so she can come and go. But apparently she just jumps over the patio fence and wanders around. But
I've always been afraid about traveling with cats, and I know Mel and Eddie are here, and of course they had Jack for years, but because I've had a lot of cats in my lifetime now, they've always known where home is.
Yeah.
And that's what our neighbor was saying, that they've had no problems with camping with her because this cat always knows their RV and knows where home is. So.
Well, we had a cat that knew where our bedroom was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when she was outside and wanted to come in, she'd come around the house to our bedroom window, sit right under the window, and sing the songs of her people. Right there.
Oh, lovely.
But anyway, pet responsibility and travel with pets. Now, I have not had any issues with any kind of breeds or anything like that, because I don't believe that there's a bad breed out there, although I know that there's people that are leery of, and certain campgrounds, you can't bring certain types of animals in. But again, it's owner responsibility and knowing your pet. Like I said, Cody's not a mean, but she is not 100% social. Right. So she may react. I mean, one minute she'll let a little kid come up to her and pet her, and I'm sitting there going, whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't do that.
Yeah. Let's take a moment here and
Okay.
welcome Fordman, aka Kenneth Oakes,
Yes.
is here. Justin and Christine's RV van life with Michael.
Michael.
Yeah, their job is just to drive Michael around.
That's right.
Van City Adventure is here. And of course, Miss Barbara said Mel and Nettie, Living Free Zip Codeless is here. Proud to see y'all here. Charlie Grace, take a moment right now and tell us what kind of projects you're working on.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know this is a hot topic today. I'm literally working on 2 videos, one for road trippers and one for Compendium, talking about traveling with pets and some tips and tricks, which is nice because that's what a lot of people, they say over 85% of RV owners have a pet. And one of the reasons why they buy it is because they want to travel with their pet as opposed to going to hotels and things like that. So having that convenience, which is really cool. So working on quite a few articles and some videos as well. But I'm going to have a video, ironically. This has sort of like become my Sunday now after you guys. I'm going to premiere. They were supposed to have the Amana meetup this weekend, but I saved some footage from Amana and we'll do a little talk about, I was at Amana for the AKC dog show and it was really, really cool. So, but I'll just do a little... Really cool, really neat.
Yeah.
And then as far as like trips coming, I mean, we've got a lot of trips coming up. September and October are like really busy months for a lot of people. I'll be going to Missouri, of course, Michigan and Georgia, and maybe even back to Branson. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be like one big circle.
We're going to Branson.
We are going to Branson, Ben.
I think a quick stop to see, but we got friends there.
5 days. Yeah, I've got a friend there.
Oh, 5 days. Cool.
Ooh,
Because she mentioned to me we were going to Branson for 2 days, and I went, you can't do anything in Branson in 2 days. Come on, baby. So she went back and obviously extended it.
Yeah, I did.
Good, good. You can find her link pinned right there at the top of the chat to Charlie Grace Adventures on YouTube. She's also on Facebook. What other platforms, Charlie Grace?
I'm a big TikToker. If you like to talk, I like to tick.
TikTok. What did my morning show host, Dave Gilligan, used to say? Tic-tac. No, that's what he called it.
Ticky-tack. Ticky-tack.
Tic-tac, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think right now, my joke is I try to do comedy writing, do funny little shorts. I do at least 1 or 2 a day.
She does indeed, folks. She does.
I put out something to make you giggle or laugh, just to get you through your day, and then I'll put out a adventure video or a van life dog friendly video once a week, because I think that's fun.
Charlie, this is off subject for just a moment, off topic, but and I was asking Miss Barbara about this the other day because I'm finding that a lot of channels, such as yourself and a bunch of other well-known channels, they do a lot of shorts, and I have not wrapped my brain around shorts and how it affects the algorithm. And do you have any insight on that?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead. I'd love to know.
So different social media platforms are really going into the short video platform. There's more people that carry their phone on them than their laptop. So they want to sort of go to that phone format. And because of our attention spans, we just scroll. They're looking for things under 30 seconds. And a lot of people like watching that. They're like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is interesting. When I started my channel in January, I thought, and I did it really on a dare just for fun. I said, I'm going to do 30 days and every day I'm going to do a short. That's just what I'm going to do. I wasn't looking for subscribers, wasn't going crazy on monetization, wasn't thinking anything like that. I'm like, this is just going to be fun because I already have a dog channel. I'm known as the dog lady. Totally fine with that. But I thought we'll do something fun just for me. And next thing you know, I'm almost to 5,000 subscribers.
Oh, I know. I was noticing that when I did a little research before we came on today, and you're easing on.
I mean, we're doing a big giveaway on Monday on my live stream. I call it my 4K celebration, but by the time we get there, we may have a 5K celebration. I don't know. It's pretty wild. So we're going to give away 2 free nights at a state park, campground at your choice. We'll give you essentially a gift card to the state parks, and among some other fun swag. So if you guys want to sign up on my website at charliegraceadventures.com, now's your chance. You'll be in the giveaway on Monday.
The reason I ask is I was noticing you. Our good friends Endless RVing, Izzy and MJ, and the Brazen Brits, and Mel and Nettie, and the Wayward Waggs. A bunch of channels out there are really stoking up their library of shorts. And so I was just wondering, because I'm always doing something that after you do it, you realize that would have made a great little short. You know, I did this and someone would like to see that. So I was just wondering. Yeah.
Here's the thought though. I want to give everybody a tip. I know I'm talking fast. I got to slow down. I'm getting excited. If you shoot a lot of video like me and you're like, I'm doing it horizontal, I'm like, well, wait a minute, I want to do a short. How am I going to make it this way? Or, you know, it gets very frustrating.
Yep.
There are apps out there such as Splice or CapCut. I think CapCut is free. I think Splice has a fee to it for your phone that will take it, and you can literally edit everything on your phone and make it one size or this size or square or whatever you want to do for it. It's really quite amazing, and it takes all that effort of thinking, oh my gosh, I have all this footage. How can I ever make a short? So there are things like that.
That is too cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. I was taking it in Adobe Premiere, and of course you'd have to flip it sideways and then trim it, and it was a mess. Yeah. I'm going to go to the fridge, and you need to ask Miss Charlie Grace about the whole veterinarian thing while you're on the road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good topic. I'll be right back.
It's libation time. It's time to have a libation.
Yeah. That's why we have such a happy time. So really, honestly, what do you do for a veterinarian while you're on the road?
It's a great question. I think that one of the things I always recommend people when they go to a campground, or when they go to a new town specifically, but campgrounds are a little easier. I have to say this. When you check in, I always ask, who's the veterinarian that you recommend, and who's the pet hospital, the 24-hour pet hospital you recommend? Those are two big questions that may be very different. So a good example, like in town, we have a county animal hospital, and then we have a Blue Pearl for emergencies, things like that. So that's something I say that's the number one. Number two, if you're going to be full-time, if you're going to be on the road 24/7, and you know that for sure you're going to be needing veterinary as you go, because you need wellness checkups and shots and rabies and things
Sure.
like that. I recommend looking into like a Banfield, where they have a program. And for those people like PetSmart is what we're talking about. They normally have clinics within them or clinics outside of them. They are run by Mars Pet Care, which is a really great corporation, family owned, by the way, still, which is nice. And they've set that up so you can have your vet records everywhere you go. But whatever you do before you go, make sure you get a printout. I want that piece of paper in your hand, so when you go to that next campground, you've got that shot record.
I was going to ask you about that, because we've encountered several campgrounds. One was MacDill Air Force Base, where you know, a lot of the campgrounds say you need all your paperwork and your vaccination records and everything for your pups. And a lot of times they don't ask for it. Buddy, they were on the ball. Of course, MacDill is an Air Force base, and they train military working dogs there. So they were kind of on the ball. And buddy, you didn't get by. They checked every little thing. So we learned early to travel. That we had all the dog records. Guess what we didn't have? The registration for the tags.
Oh no.
We snuck in somehow.
It was so funny.
It was hilarious.
I brought the registration. Well, the thing is our car registration and our RV registration are at two different times of the year.
Gotcha.
So we had the cars all, that was all done. And I didn't think about the fact that RV registration was actually expired. So I get some paperwork and I see the date on it. It was like flashing red light in front of my face. And so I'm putting it down there, and I didn't say anything to the lady because,
oh gosh, no.
No.
She saw it was November 2000. 2020. Okay. So it was 2020.
Yeah.
And we're there in January of 21. So I don't say anything thinking, hopefully she's thinking that, okay, 2020 is when we renewed the tags, not when the tag expired. So I'm keeping my mouth shut. My husband goes, oh, let me see if I can find a newer one. And I'm going, shh, shh,
Shut up. Shh,
yeah, I'm tearing the RV apart. We got all the dog records, but lo and behold, we didn't have tags for the,
so she didn't. She noticed it. I don't know if she noticed this.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we got him.
Note to self: don't take Ricky to Mexico. Okay.
If so, plan on leaving him because getting back is a problem, not getting down there. So,
Nope.
But yeah, so carrying your records is very important. But I do like the idea. Now, I haven't used Banfield with our pets because we've had our vet for over 20 years. Of course,
Oh yeah.
traveled, but I have to admit that one time I needed something from them, so I just called them and they faxed it or emailed it, I should say, directly to the pharmacy that we were at or to the vet we were at, and took care of it that way.
but it is also handy, as you said, to have that printed copy.
Yeah.
So that when you go in there, there's no question. You're not having to show them on the phone or call the vet or.
No.
Yeah.
And paper trumps electronic. That's what I really want to tell people is that if you get a copy, take your paper.
And medications while you're on the road. Our dog Cody has an allergy medication,
right?
And we have what's the name of that company? That sends it? Chewy. Yeah, Chewy sends her medications. We've never had to actually send Chewy to a campground, but I'm sure it'd be very easy.
Well, I could have it sent to an Amazon locker.
Yeah, locker.
But if I know as a matter of fact, she's got some coming up shortly, and so I'm just having them ship them to my sister because I'm going to see her in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
But one thing that the vet in Key West did for us while we were there was he gave us, because she has a sensitive stomach, so he gave us a first aid. Immediate type thing, so we have a few extra pills type situation. And of course I kept the prescription so that I could show it to my vet when we got home because I wanted to make sure everything was going to be okay. So it takes a little bit of thinking and planning ahead when it comes to pet medication and having, not only I had all her shots done, even though normally if we were at home we would have only done the rabies shot. I did the Bordello shots. I did all the shots in case we needed to put her someplace.
Yeah, which is smart, very smart. Because honestly, I know there are nomads out there, people traveling out there who can get sick and wind up in the hospital. And then you have to board your pup somewhere, and that's something to think about.
Well, we had that happen a year ago.
Yeah, we want to say hello to Angel. That is the pup that travels with Justin and Christine and Michael.
Beautiful dog.
Yeah. And what does he say there? They have all of Angel's health records just to come into the States because they're from Canada. Right.
And while they were at it, they brought in a flea, tick, and heartworm protection medication for the amount of time that they were out. Smart. And that's kind of what we've done.
Planning ahead is Miss Barbara does that. She makes sure that whenever we're back at the home base in Southeast Alabama, there's always a couple of Chewy boxes waiting for us. And of course, Chewy, they get a box about this big, and there's a little pill bottle, little pill bottle inside.
So, okay, next question.
Beaches. I thought we were talking beaches.
You're right. Let me just say that Van Camper Designer asked early in the day. And I mentioned it to you, we were kind of out of our element because we only know about the Southeast. We really haven't ventured too far. We've been up to Mayberry and over to Virginia and all the way down to Key West and over to Louisiana. And we're pushing it starting tomorrow, headed out west. We're going to Colorado Springs ultimately, and then work our way back. But their question was beach friendly, lake friendly, campgrounds, more westward. We hadn't ventured out there. I'm not sure if you have.
I would say the most dog-friendly state that's out west is Oregon. Oregon coastline is 100% dog-friendly.
Wow.
Wow, I know. You're like, really?
It also is an incredible coastline. It's beautiful.
It's stunning. So when people
place in the world I've ever seen, well, the Philippines, I think, where the forest grows right down to the water. It's great.
Yeah, it's definitely that Pacific Northwest rainforest kind of vibe. It's fantastic. But Oregon is someplace I highly recommend if you want to go with your dog and hang out on the beach. That's go-to. Now, as far as like other specific ones like California and other places, there are some really good resources out there to find. But as far as like public land versus private land, that's where it gets a little sticky. So I'm with you. I'm more of a Southeast kind of gal because that's where I travel the most these days, and where I do a lot with work. But when I do go out west, I have a lot of friends out there who are like in Arizona, California, Oregon, Washington State. Oregon's the place to be.
I've always wanted to go. We have not been, even in my Navy travels. I never made it to Oregon. There's just really not any Navy in Oregon. But I had several good friends and Happy Place Diaries, Jerry and Teresa live out there, and their videos of the Oregon coast are just amazing.
Yeah,
and it's beautiful. Now it rains a lot, like you said, it's kind of wet out there a lot of the time, but it is beautiful area. And you say the entire coastline is pet friendly. That's
absolutely
cool.
Yep,
that's great.
Yeah, it's a very different vibe. I think from a state park perspective, and I'm going to give a shout out, and you guys I'm sure have been there, Gulf Shore State Park down in Alabama. Mm-hmm. They don't allow the dog on the beach. The only place you can have a dog on the beach is at Dolphin Island on the other side, way further down there. But they do have an amazing dog park on a lake. So for small dogs and large dogs. So if you still want water friendly, I have to admit, you start looking southeast, we start talking alligators. Got to think about these things, people. Just got to put it out there. Do not bring your small Chihuahua and think that they're not an appetizer.
No, we've got a video of Cotton Hill RV Park if you ever want to go check it out. And there's a portion of that video where me and Miss Cody go down at the lake, throwing the old duck out in the water, and we encounter an alligator, and I happen to catch it on video. So Miss Cody was oblivious to it, didn't care, swam right past it, got the duck, swam back. But it's called Cotton Hill RV Park, and we like to go there quite often.
We do.
But I'm more cautious now.
Yeah.
In fact, we've been to one park where when you get there and you enter, they tell you at the guest house or at the park host, they tell you, we have alligators, keep your dogs out of the water.
Yes.
So, I think that's good that they inform you, especially in the Southeast, no matter where you go, all the lakes and rivers, there's going to be alligators. When I grew up, 60s and 70s in the South, we didn't have a lot of alligators. We didn't have armadillos. But all of a sudden, the armadillos migrated from Texas, and the alligators came up from the Everglades and the swamps, and we have them all over the Southeast, the Okefenokee Swamp. That whole area is full of them now.
And snakes.
Don't forget the snakes.
Don't forget the snakes.
Now that Marmar, the one that looks like Rosie Bell?
Yeah.
Marmar was a snake dog. She loved to find a snake. And it would strike her right between the eyes, and her whole head would swell up, but she'd kill the snake. And after a while, she was oblivious to the venom. And we had moccasins. We just lived in an area where there was rattlesnakes and moccasins a lot. And she couldn't help herself. The other dogs would avoid the snake. Marmar goes in there and thrashes it and then brings it to you.
But that's yeah, and that's another thing you can get vaccinated for, is it will help you with the snakes.
You can get a vaccine for snake bites?
For dogs. I mean, it's not going to be 100%, but it will reduce the reaction.
We just made sure we kept a lot of Benadryl around for Marmar. And we give her Benadryl, and the swelling would go down, but she was oblivious to the venom by then, so... She was our snake dog, unfortunately. Oh, Cody got bit in the bottom jowl. Aww. And she swelled up pretty good, and apparently she didn't get a lot, but Marmar killed that one too.
Yeah.
Well, I think you got to be careful with what I call stinging flying raisins. When it's wasp territory and things, and they start jumping for these wasps, and especially in like the fall. I know we had to take Rosie to the vet one time. It swelled up so bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, is my dog allergic to this particular insect? Yeah.
All right, we got any questions in the chat over here? I know that Mel and Nettie mentioned their "What's Up with This" shorts.
Melisms.
Melisms. He does a lot of what's up with that shorts. So I think I'm going to start doing some shorts.
I think you should.
Yeah, instead of long pants, I'm going to do shorts.
I know.
One more time, Miss Charlie Grace, would you tell us what projects you got going on?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm just traveling in the van.
Yeah.
Like every other person, these days, right? I'm just a traveling redhead. Now I've got a lot of writing. We've got a lot of videos coming up. Of course, I have a premiere, of course, after yours, which I'd love to have all our friends come over and join. We'll go to Iowa together. We'll pretend. We'll put on our pretend hat. But I am working with a lot of people. If you have any questions about pups or any, I have a friend of mine who's on YouTube who actually reached out. If you are in need and you are looking for a dog, if you're looking for, I have questions on training or anything like that, I have resources I can connect you to free of charge. This is just what I do. And we'll get you on the right path.
Excellent. And pinned at the top of the chat is her YouTube channel, Charlie Grace Adventures.
And Sue with Lucky Dog's been putting them in.
Yeah, been posting those. And you'll have a premiere coming up right after us.
Mm-hmm.
So we look forward to that. And right now, we'd just like to thank Charlie Grace of Charlie Grace Adventures for spending her Sunday afternoon with us and talking dogs.
And we just really scratched the surface because
yeah.
we can talk about. So again, anyone who would have a question about, like she said, traveling with your animals, different types of things, training, etc., you can get through. You can get in. Let's get this right. You can get in touch with the right people through Charlie Grace.
Well, I tell you, we talk about pets and RVing every now and then. There really needs to be like a channel that, a Charlie Grace channel. That's right. Charlie Grace Adventures. Charlie Grace, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And right after this, you can go to that link right up there, RV Underway Raid at Charlie Grace for her premiere. Charlie Grace.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
Remember, thank you so much.
All right, Charlie, we'll catch you on the road. That was fun.
That was fun. Also want to remind people that Beyond Beauty
and
Nettie, they have their Murder Mystery Haunted History. That's going to be on this afternoon.
Yeah, I saw the thumbnail for that. Looks interesting. So make sure you check that out. Also, Box Van D usually goes live about 8 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Mountain and Pacific. No, Pacific, Mountain, Central, Mountain time. And then it's 5 o'clock Pacific time. Don't ask me what it is in Hawaii. I have no idea. It's yesterday or tomorrow. Okay. But anyway, check out those channels. We want to thank everybody for being here with us on this Sunday afternoon. We want to thank our channel members, Box Van D, Great Granny Freebird. She's got a new video out. Y'all go check that out. And Box Van D has always got great videos out. Right. B&D Crafts and More, Nursing Our Travel Bug, James Catanese, Thrifty Angela, Idle Cruises, Foreverland RV, that's D in Chief. Thank y'all so much. And Over the Hill RV and
Avenger RV Adventures and Jonnie's Journeys.
That's right. Thank y'all so much. We certainly do appreciate y'all helping us out here at RV Underway.
And we're glad that Sandy and Phil, as well as Mel and Nettie, were able to come in because today was travel day for both of them, and tomorrow's our travel day.
Yeah, tomorrow. Let's talk a little bit about that. We have a few minutes to kill here. Okay. We've been here for 3 weeks.
Yes, we have.
And I went out today and I did some, I checked the tire pressure, checked the oil, did some restoring. You know what I'm talking about. If you're RVer, you get out there and you open one of your basement bays and you get in there and resituate everything and clean it out. I try to do a couple of them every week, just keep them clean and sort of position everything. But I got all that done. The only thing we have to do in the morning before we leave is bring the slides in, let the jacks down, and go through our checklist. Get we got the ultraviolet tire protectors, got to get those off, get the antenna down. I don't have the flag I never did put the flag up this
Oh,
time.
that's
Well, we're right
unusual.
back in the sticks back
We are.
here.
We
So
have wooded area right
we
behind
backed
us.
right into the woods. So I never put the flag up. But you know, go through our checklist, get everything ready to go. And what is checkout here? 11 o'clock?
11 o'clock.
I imagine we want to
We've
hit
got
the
a
road.
decent travel day tomorrow.
We want to hit the road by 9.
Yeah. I
So
would
we'll
think
get
so.
up early and just start packing the interior, really. I kept wanting to shoot a video, but it ain't going to happen. It has rained on us. We've been here 3 weeks, 21 days. It has rained on us 20 days.
It has. It has. At least a little bit of rain.
Welcome to Florida. It really has just about every
Every
day.
day we've gotten some rain.
So Miss Barbara's going to do a little laundry this afternoon.
Yep.
And I'm going to go out and, you know, finish getting everything ready for tomorrow morning. So we just pull the power of the water.
We'll be
And
in
the sewer?
Louisiana tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to hit Louisiana tomorrow.
We actually are spending a day near Hammond. Then we're going to spend a day halfway between there and Shreveport. Obviously, if you rent a car or a van, you can make that in one trip,
Yeah.
but we have to break that up. And then we're going to be in Shreveport for about 3 days. Then we go to Texas. And we go to our first Thousand Trails.
We're looking forward to that.
Yep. We'll be there for a couple of days at the Thousand Trails.
Spent a lot of money with them. I'd like to stay there once.
Well, our future trips have got us staying quite a few. But
Speaking of that, Passport America is where we'll be staying tomorrow night
That's
at
right.
Passport America. And if you want to know more about Passport America, me and Miss Barbara are ambassadors, and there's a link down in the description below to how you can save on thousands of RV parks in U.S., Canada, and Mexico with Passport America. I think it's like $40 a year. Believe me, you're going to save that the first couple of times you stay.
Yeah.
It's well worth it. But our campground tomorrow night will be a Passport America.
Yep.
Near Hammond, Louisiana. And we'll be seeing your brother
we're going to spend 3 days with my brother.
in Shreveport, Louisiana,
Yep.
Bossier City area. And we'll be staying at the Air Force Base there.
Yes.
And he's retired Air Force, and we look forward to seeing him. And we're working our way up toward family in Colorado Springs.
That's where we're staying for Mel and Nettie.
Lake Texoma.
Texoma. We'll
Lake
be staying there for a little bit.
that's the one in
Texas.
in Texas.
It's up by the Oklahoma. You know, it's North Texas. So we'll be staying there.
Is that one close to Amarillo?
We'll hit Amarillo after that.
Oh, after that. Will we make
I
it
think
by
so.
morning?
I hope so. But then that means we got to leave at night.
Hey,
But, yeah,
I think we're done.
I think we're done.
We had
love you
fun.
guys.
We want to thank our guest, Charlie Grace from Charlie Grace Adventures. She's got a premiere coming out right after this. Be sure to check that out. The link is pinned right up there. Thank you, Sue, Mel and Nettie, Living Free Zip Codeless, Mary Jones, all of our moderators.
Yes.
Before we go, make sure you drop your links in our chat right there. So anybody who hasn't gone and checked out your YouTube channel and social media outlets can do that. Go ahead and drop those in there before we go. And thank y'all for staying on top of moderating and dropping the link as we went through the show.
And hello to Bear and Don.
Yeah.
We saw you say goodbye to Xanadu.
RVBFE. We did see you say goodbye to Xanadu. Kind of sad.
Watch that short. How about that?
Kind of sad.
Yeah, well, I think they're happy.
Hey, it's an adventure for somebody else.
That's right. Absolutely. All right. I think we're about done.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
Thank y'all for being here. God bless you. Have a great Sunday afternoon and a good week coming up. And if you're traveling like we are, just God bless your travels. All right. Hope you have safe travels out there and y'all be careful. Until we see you again, fair winds and following seas. Bye, y'all.